One of the biggest problems that I see in the contracting world all the time is contractors not paying themselves a fair market wage. This might not seem like that big of a problem, but it actually is, because I hear all the time contractors telling me that they can live off $50,000 or $60,000. But the reality is, paying yourself a fair market wage, it's not about you. It's about the business. And if you're not paying yourself a fair market wage, what you're actually doing is distorting the numbers of your business. And if you're distorting the numbers of your business, well, it becomes really, really hard to actually drive performance and profitability within it, because you're not getting that accurate data. And why I say distorted numbers is because if you're not paying yourself a fair market wage, then your business isn't actually truly representative of market conditions. Because if you got hit by a bus tomorrow and you had to replace your role and fulfill that with someone else, how much would you have to pay them? It's not going to be $50,000, it's not going to be $60,000. A lot of the time it's going to be $80,000, $90,000, $100,000, potentially even $120,000 per year. If you're not paying yourself that wage, then the reality is your numbers now are actually lying to you. You might be looking at your P&L and going, fantastic, look, I've made $50,000 in net profit. But if you're only paying yourself a $50,000 salary, well, I would beg to differ and say that you might only be making $10,000, $5,000 net profit, potentially even just breaking even at this point. And if you were paying yourself that fair market wage and your business was giving you that data back through the P&L, well, you're going to kick your ass into gear and start making some serious changes to get your business back into profitability, because your business at that point isn't healthy, it's actually quite sick. Whereas right now, what you're doing is, if you're not paying yourself a fair market wage and you're seeing that you're making $50,000 in net profit, all you're doing is lying to yourself. You're thinking that everything's all right, but the reality is it's not. Now, for some of you, I get it, your owner compensation is actually structured in a way to try and minimize your taxable income, but the reality is your pursuit to try and reduce your taxable income should not outweigh your desire to try and drive the performance and profitability of your business. And if you're not getting accurate data because you're not paying yourself a fair market wage, then you are making it so much harder for yourself to try and improve the business and take the next steps forward. For some of you, especially those starting out, your business right now probably can't actually pay yourself a fair market wage, and that's okay. But it's important that you're setting yourself a goal and a plan of action of, well, when am I going to achieve that fair market wage? And up until that point, make sure you're consciously thinking about the investment that you're actually putting into the business. But if you're only paying yourself, say, a $50,000 salary, and you should realistically be up at $80,000 or $90,000, well, what you're doing is putting $30,000 to $40,000 of sweat equity in your business as retained earnings to build the capital base of your business. And that is, at the start, is really, really important, because at the end of the day, there's only two ways that you can build capital in your business: money or effort. Now, if you don't have the money, well, it's going to be effort through sweat equity. But at the end of the day, the goal still remains. You're working towards paying yourself a fair market wage. Until you get to that point and start making a profit on top of that, well, then your business is sick.